All right, this is gonna be a fun video. These two cars that I'm gonna be talking about are cars that I want 100%. And they're a step up from the McLaren and the NC1 NSX. Well, maybe not the Mercedes GTR, but definitely the Porsche GT4 RS. Now let's start off by talking about the Mercedes GTR. So without further ado, I always like to be honest. I always like to plug people in and give all that due credit that you're supposed to give whenever you figure something out, right? So I was visiting my friend Nick at NC Auto. It's a wrap place here at Grand Junction. And there was a 2016 Mercedes GTS. And I've always seen these cars in the internet, but I've never seen one where I could take my time and look at it. And I did. I took my time. I looked at the exterior, the interior, the wheels, the engine bay. I looked at everything. Now, this wasn't my car, so I didn't get inside it and do anything like that, but I was looking at stuff and I was thoroughly impressed. First off, it looks super freaking cool. Now, I'm talking about the GTS. The GTR even looks even crazier, but luckily here at the NC Auto place, the GTS actually had a bunch of stuff from the GTR. It had the GTR wings, side skirts. It was a lot of parts from the GTR and the GTS, so I kind of got an idea of a little bit how the GTR looks. But from what I understand, the GTR's wheelbase and everything is a little bit larger, and it's definitely a different car overall, but there's a lot of similarities. Now, the Mercedes GTR is an insane car. I didn't know this, but the GTS and the GTR share the same 4.0 twin turbo engine. The only difference is that the GTR has more power, has probably a better tune and stuff like that. But one of the biggest differences that I've been reading about is the exhaust. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, why don't you just slap an exhaust in the GTS and call it a day? The exhaust in the GTR is integrated in the car. As you switch modes, it literally kind of ups the tempo and ups the intensity that when you finally get to the highest mode, it sounds absolutely insane. Now, this car is super, super plush. Now, I rented a Mercedes, a regular Mercedes, but a brand new one a couple years ago, and I drove it up to Pikes Peak. And I actually love Mercedes build quality. Like, I really like it. BMW, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. Mercedes, you gotta think about it, they're both Germans, right? German manufacturers. You know, Mercedes really hits home. It's very, very comfy. You feel at home. All the controls, everything feels nice. And the car feels very plush, very luxurious. So the GTR is without a doubt a super gorgeous and luxurious and powerful sports car. So it's got about 577 horsepower. I could be off on those numbers, which is a lot. It's a V8 and it sounds like a V8. So it's like, oh man, it's insane. 4.0 V8. So these cars go for about anywhere from like 140 to 160. Yeah, it's intense. Now, how does that compare to the cars I have? Well, first off, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but the McLaren 12C has 600 horsepower, so it's faster, like without a doubt. And not only that, like the 12C is definitely not in the 140, 160 range. So you're definitely getting a lot of car. So yeah, you're definitely getting a lot of car for the money, but where the Mercedes shines is the luxury, the build quality, the reliability. I mean, McLaren's reliable, but you got to think about Mercedes. This is technically one of their highest end sports cars. So the way it works is you have the GTS, the GTC, the GTR, and then you have the Black Series GTR, which apparently beat the Porsche GT4 RS in Nürburgring. And then after that, you have like multi-million-dollar supercars. So the GTR is one of Mercedes' best sports cars they've ever produced. Now, how does it compare to the NSX? Well, the NSX is an all-wheel drive hybrid system car, so definitely a driver's car, definitely, you know, very intelligent car. Where the GTR stands though is it's just this raw experience, and from what I've been understanding, it's also a excellent driving experience. I think it's literally one of the best next cars, like absolutely. And then the GT4 RS is absolutely amazing. If you know Porsches, then you know like they're great. I owned a Porsche GT4. I loved it. I thought it was a fascinating car. But the GTRS, the GT4 RS, sorry, the only thing you need to do is go watch a POV video, not the one of people talking. I get annoyed by that. Just straight driving engine sound, and you will understand why I want that car. I want a driver's car, but I also want a driver's car now that gives you like a dose of massive adrenaline, massive excitement. And that's what happens. And again, I've told you guys, the progression is real. Like it's not people, I mean, I know I'm not doing it for like status, but the progression of supercars is real. Like once you experience supercars, like you really like, you just keep like wanting to experience cars that are even like hypercars and cars that are even more insane because they're really a special experience. In the GT4 RS, I mean, think about the side vents are like air ducts, the engine. I mean, anytime a car has RS after it under Porsche's lineup, it's an incredible car. And I think both cars are great overall purchases. I don't think the GTR and the GT4 RS are going to be dropping in value. If anything, the GT4 RS is going to go up in value, and the GTR, if they stop making this stuff, and I don't know if they have or haven't, but just the limited quantity of these cars, I really think they're going to hold their value, which is what you want when you start going up these categories. So you guys let me know what you think. I'm super passionate about both of them. There's no time frame for it. I live in Colorado. We have seasons. We're coming into winter. We don't buy cars in winter because that just doesn't make any sense. And spring, I don't know about that either, but we'll see. But anyways, this is a good start to the conversation because I'm excited. And when I start getting excited, I start doing a lot of research, and stuff could possibly happen. All right, guys, thank you for watching. You stay safe, take care, and we'll talk to you soon.